Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Andrew. I'm here with my good friend Aaron of the Bible Players.
Hello, and I'm here with my good friend Andrew, also of the Bible Players. We're so happy to see your smiling faces, and we're so glad you can join us today on your lunch break or whatever it is for you. Today is Tuesday, in case anyone was wondering. It is, and we're so excited. We're going to get started. We'll explain everything, but first we're going to play a game called Who Am I? Rhyme Time. For this game, I'm going to give you a clue as to who or what I am. Either a Jewish holiday or a character from the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible. If you have an answer, just type it into the chat box. I'm guessing you all know how, but in case you don't, the chat box is at the bottom of your screen, and you just type in what you think the answer is, and I'll try to give a shout out to the first people who answer. Here we go. Rhyme time. Who am I? So many animals, they chirp and they bark. I kept them all on my big ark. So many animals, they chirp and they bark. I kept them all on my big ark. Ooh, that's right. Noah. Look at all these correct answers. Very good. Ariel, Casey, and Rabbi Alana. Let's keep going. I'm not a who, I am a what. A holiday where Jews stay in a hut. Sukkot, Sukkot, Sukkot. Very good. Very good, everyone. I think we've all done a pizza in the hut thing sometime in the past. Here we go. I'm the coolest lady you ever saw. I was Naomi's daughter-in-law. A little topical. Ruth, there it is. Ruth, there it is. All right, here's another one. Sure, I'm flat. Don't be a hater. I'm the cardboard you eat at a Seder. Matzah, matzah, man. Very good. All right, here's a little bit tougher. I beat a guy who was really tall. I was also the king after Saul. Oh, David. Wow, you are Jewish educators. Very nice. Here's another one. I am a Hebrew word that you speak, and I happen once a week. Shabbat is correct. Well, you're all so good. We'll do one more. I bring Jews lots of cheer, a holiday that means head of the year. Rosh Hashanah is correct. Thank you all for playing guessing game Who Am I? Rhyme Time. I want to encourage you all. You can make that yourself. That is what we called at JTS a set induction. I guess everyone calls it that. But a great starting activity while people are coming into a Zoom meeting to get people started and fun and interactive. And also if someone comes in later, they can pretty much figure out what's going on without having it explained to them. Our set induction first activity, because Andrew and I don't like starting with logistical stuff. We want to, boom, start with something fun and engaging and educational. There you go.
Wonderful. Thanks, Aaron, for getting us started. So we are so excited to be with all of you. Many of you know us. We are the Bible Players, Andrew and Aaron. We are really excited that you've joined us today on Zoom. Today is all about trying to help. Our goal is that this will be the most useful hour on Zoom you have spent so far in quarantine. That is the high bar we are setting for ourselves. And we know we're competing with thousands of other hours. So thank you so much for taking the time and joining us here today. We are going to be going to for about the next hour till 1 p.m. And for those of you who are joining us, I'm sharing right now in the chat. This is a little sign-in link many of you saw in our Facebook event. But if you can just share your name and email in that sign-in link, we are going to send you all of the activities we're going to cover today later this week as a PDF, so that during this hour, you can be playing with us, you can be experiencing it and enjoying it, and not worried about writing down notes of how to play every game. So make sure you get a chance to go to that and sign in. We want to mention that later this week, on Thursday night at 8 p.m., you may have seen on Facebook, we are doing a unkosher comedy show, which is for adults only, which is our first adults only show online. Drinks and pants are optional for that one, so please come and join us for that. And then on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m., we're doing a live and inside show every Sunday. So every Sunday at 4 p.m., we're doing a live and inside show. So we hope you can join us for one of those. We wanted to mention a couple features of Zoom you probably know about, but a couple maybe you don't. On the upper right is the gallery or speaker view. Most of the time, we'll recommend you be in gallery view because we're going to be playing together. And one thing we wanted to mention is on the bottom of your screen by the stop video, there's a little arrow next to it. I'd love for you to click on that arrow and click on video settings. And a couple settings that we love to have in general is mirror my video, which is the second from the top. And that allows it so that when you share your screen, when you move left to right, the image also moves left to right. And then that's mirror my video. Also hide non-video participants lower down, we think is great because we don't really need to see the faces of people that are on the phone. We don't need to see their name in a box. We just want to see the people whose faces we can see. And on the very bottom, if you have a newer computer, you will see display up to 49 participants per screen in the gallery view. We'd love for you to click those settings to join us. So our main goal for today, thank you all for writing your emails in there. My actual hope is that you would click on this link and fill out that Google form with your email. That would be ideal so that they're in a list, if that's possible. You can just click on that link in the chat. But if not, we will certainly copy your emails from the chat. We are going to be recording today this video because several educators have reached out asking us if we can send them a recording of it. So if you've already, thank you, Barry. If you've already filled out the form, we've got your email. This is only if you didn't see it in the Facebook event to fill out the form. And I'll share it a couple more times throughout because we want to make sure you all get these activities. So we're going to be recording today's gathering to share with some fellow educators and teachers. Aaron and my's emails are our names on our boxes right here. So you can email us if you have any questions or if you have any challenges with being on tape for this. So our goal for today is simple. Our goal for today is that by the end of this hour, you will have one activity that you're excited to try with your learners. One activity. So as we're sharing and playing together, we want you to think about which ones really speak to you. We will be using the chat box throughout, and we will be answering questions that you have, taking comments. We may pause to answer questions. We may see your questions, but choose to keep rolling along in the interest of the group's time. But certainly, as I said, our emails are here. Email us with any specific questions, your group. We would love to have conversations and make it happen. And if you really enjoyed this workshop, we would love to do a custom workshop for your community and your teachers. So I would love to get us started with our next activity. And this is called the mirror game. So I recommend going to gallery view for this because it's a lot of fun. So for this one, I would recommend going to gallery view, and everyone just put your hands up like this next to your face. Wonderful. So I'm going to be our first leader, and what I want you to just try and do is just try and mirror what I'm doing on my screen. And you notice I'm starting very slow in order to make it easier to follow. And then once we're getting the hang of it, we can get a little more complicated. All right, wonderful, wonderful. All right, now I'm going to ask someone else to be the mirroring. I'm going to ask, let's see. I'm going to ask our friend Mike Wykes, if you could lead us. So you can start like this with your hands up here like that. We'll start each time like that, and we'll all try and follow you. Go ahead, Mike. Very nice. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. So that is the mirror game that we really love. This gets everyone moving and working together. This game, as with most, we're going to demonstrate a very abbreviated version of, just so that we can share more activities with you today. But if you were doing this with learners, you could do this for a while. I'd recommend maybe giving everyone a chance if you have a relatively small group to be the leader. Another variation we're going to try right now is called Who's in Charge? Okay, so I'm going to ask our friend Casey here. Casey, you have joined us before. So good to see you. So Casey, I'm going to unmute you because we're going to ask you if you can, for a moment, turn off your volume, and we'll wave you to come back. We'll wave to you when to come back, but you're going to try and guess who's in charge. So this time we're going to be following the mirror game, but Casey's not going to know who we are following, okay? So I'm going to pick someone to be our leader, who I see at least on my first page. I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick Mark Lazar. Mark Lazar, okay? So Mark Lazar, so everyone's going to follow Mark Lazar if you see him. This Mark. Is tougher with a giant, well, it's tougher with a giant group like ours. It's easier with a smaller group of 20 people because we may have a lot of screens. But everyone, if you can see Mark Lazar, he's got a fun tie-dye shirt. We're going to try and follow him. So everybody wave your arms to let Casey know to come back. Okay, Casey, are you back with us? You're unmuted, so we can hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, awesome, you're back. So everyone start with your hands up like this, and we're going to follow the person we picked. And Casey's going to see if she can figure out who's in charge. It's going to be tough. Go ahead whenever you're ready, leader.
Is it Israeli Artist Projects?
No, good guess, good guess.
Is it Barry Shanker?
No, good guess. We'll give you one last guess, Casey. You're doing great.
Okay. Is it Lynn Middleton?
No, good guess. It was Mark Lazar. Mark Lazar. Round of applause for Mark. Thank you, Mark. Awesome job. And thank you, Casey, for playing. This is a really fun one called Who's in Charge that we love. It's obviously harder the more people you have participating. So we really gave Casey the hardest possible way to play this. But you can play this with a group of 4 or more. And a really fun way that we love to keep everyone involved and to think about how we work together as a group, how we support each other, and try and figure things out. So that's Who's in Charge. And Aaron's going to tell us what we're going to do next.
All right, folks. Thank you for playing. This next game is going to be called Anachnu. Anachnu. And we like to say Anachnu is a Hebrew word. And you know it's Hebrew because there's a little bit of phlegm in it. Anachnu means we are, or us. And the way this works is we support each other's ideas by typing into the chat what Anachnu can be. So it can be any noun. If you want to put in the chat any noun at all, it can be soccer players or dogs or rocket ships. And the rest of us will act out what Anachnu are going to be. So Rabbi Ann Person said asparagus. So everybody, interpret that as you will. Anachnu asparagus. Oh, I'm green. Yum, yum, yum. I'm very healthy. I will give you a surprise in a couple hours for some of you. All right, nice job, Anachnu. That's right, Anachnu. Ooh, Joan Farber says knitting needles. Anachnu knitting needles. Look at all these different needles we see here. Lovely. Excellent job, everyone. Ooh, Julie Blair says sunshine. Anachnu shemesh zorachat. We are sunshine. I want to channel the Partridge Family song. Sunshine, yo. Yes, we could all use some more sunshine. What a beautiful day it is to be inside on Zoom. And one more. Sherry Applebaum says butterfly, my favorite Hebrew word. Parpar, anachnu butterfly. Hello. I don't live long, but I'm pretty. Lovely. Thank you, my butterflies. Thank you. That is the game Anachnu. Give yourself a round of applause for playing. Andrew and I love that game because anybody can play of any age, and it's a great way to get involved, even if you can't talk to each other. So that is Anachnu. We're going to play another game that involves each other that Andrew's going to lead us called Ezra.
Wonderful. Thanks, Aaron. So with Anachnu, I think it's a great one where there's a lot of movement and involvement. And one thing that Aaron and I really want to challenge all of us as educators is to think about Zoom not as a phone booth, but as a way that we can transport ourselves and move around. So for a game like Anachnu, we can get up and move around the room, right? We don't need to stay in our chair. We can get up and move. So a lot of our activities are trying to incorporate movement into Zoom and thinking about ways that we can not sit still, because all of us are sitting still a lot these days, and it's great to do some movement. So we're going to play a game now called Ezra, which means help. And this is an improv game that we love. Aaron and I love improv, a lot of you know, because we really have to be great listeners. And we think about one of our most famous Jewish prayers, the Shema, which means listen. And listening is so important to improv and so important to this game. So the way this game Shema works, we're going to demonstrate it, Aaron and I, and then we're going to send you into breakout rooms, and you're going to get to play this with a couple new educator friends from around the country. So the way this works for Ezra is each person, Aaron and I right now, are going to find an object nearby and put it behind our backs, okay? So we've already got something, as you can see, but Aaron doesn't know what I have. I don't know what he has, okay? And so the way it works is Aaron's going to start. He's going to make up a problem that he's been having, and I am going to solve his problem with the object that I have behind my back. So Aaron, go ahead.
All right. Andrew, I need help. You see, I want to go for a walk, but I can't find my shoes anywhere.
Oh, well, don't worry, Aaron. Ezra, our help is on the way because I brought some clear tape. This way you can wrap up your feet and you can still be barefoot, but you can protect yourself from all the dirt. Just cover your feet in all this tape and you'll still be stylishly barefoot looking. There you go.
Well, thank you. Oh, what about you, Andrew? Do you need help?
Yes, I have a problem, Aaron. I really hate making my bed. I find it exhausting every morning. Can you help me with my problem?
Well, have no fear. Ezra is on the way because I have an apple. And what you can do is you can use this as a reward. Every time you make your bed in the morning, you can say, well, afterwards I'm going to eat an apple. And an apple a day gets the bed made every day.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. The classic phrase from Ben Franklin we all know. Wonderful. So that is Ezra. So we're I'll give you all a chance now to play this with some of your new friends. So I'm going to send you to a breakout room for a couple minutes. I would love for you to just say your name, where you are, and then each of you to find one object to put behind your back and try a round where each of you gets to help someone else have some Ezra with their problem. All right? So there's going to be about 3 or 4 of you in each breakout room. I'm going to send you there now. Have fun.
Yeah. And you can go in like a triangle.
Awesome, wonderful. Wonderful to folks that are sticking here. We are going to be playing more games all together. And right now, I'm going to be sending instructions to the breakout rooms for folks that have already forgotten what we talked about doing, because it's so important to follow up with instructions. A lot of times we just forget. I'm going to send those to everyone right now. Everyone in the breakout rooms. There you go. There we go. I'm going to broadcast a message to all. Oh, Harlan, you're alone in your breakout room.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. I sent 3 folks to every room, but we're going to come back together as a group.
That's
and
fine.
We'll try it out soon. So I'll see
Okay.
you back in the main room.
Thank you.
Wonderful. For folks that are with me in the main room right here, if you want to write in the chat box any questions or thoughts you have so far, happy to try to answer things. And we are going to we're going to join back together in the main room in a moment. And like I said, later this week, we're going to be emailing all of these activities and descriptions of how to play them to everyone, so that we can come back together. So I'm going to wrap up the breakout room soon. Wonderful. All right, welcome back. As you're coming back, hope you had fun. Please type into our chat box what object you used and what problem you solved. We would love to hear what you were able to solve. Oh, good to see some friends. Sarah Lowing, Deborah Fricano, nice to see you. Eve, wonderful. Yeah, type in, share with the group what problem you were able to solve using what object. Would be fun to know as folks are coming back to join us. Wonderful. Oh, small elephant figurine that helped charge electric devices running out of energy. Wonderful. Sounds like some real Tesla Edison magic happening. Dual tip brush calligraphy pen. We all have one of those lying around. To solve frizzy hair, naturally. Beautiful. A battery. Wonderful. Deborah had scissors. Suggested used to let the dogs out by cutting a hole in the screen door. Amazing. Wonderful. Car broke down, but no worries. Some grape nuts so I could run to my appointment. Oh, wonderful. Grape nuts really solve any problem. That's beautiful. Wonderful. Good to see everyone. Oh, Michelle Barber, nice to see you from across the country. Good to see you. So glad you liked Ezra. This is a game that we really love. And if you're working with a smaller group, I would say under 12, 12 people or less, you could play this all together in the room. But of course, with a group this size, we wouldn't all get a chance to play if we played together. And a lot of the activities we're doing, you could do a little bit differently, facilitate differently with a very small group. But of course, we've planned to facilitate for this large group that we have here today. So I'm going to jump us to our next activity. And for folks that joined us a bit late, just wanted to share that if you haven't yet, before this meeting or during the meeting, signed in with the sign-in link, please do so, because that will help us to email you later with all of the materials. So our next game that we're going to do is called the Nosy Spectrum, okay? The Nosy Spectrum. And this is an adaptation of an in-person activity that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So in this one, I want everyone to touch their nose. Hopefully you all brought your nose today. Great, awesome. So for this one, your nose is gonna be kind of the barometer, okay? So some of you may be familiar with the spectrum activity or a thermometer in a room, but in our little Zoom box, this is gonna be our thermometer right here. So if you completely agree, I want you to put your nose at the top of the screen, like this. So if you put your nose to the top of the screen, that means you completely agree. If you put your nose to the bottom of the screen, that means you completely disagree, okay? And then this means you mostly disagree, you mostly agree, you're kind of in the middle, okay? So you can place yourself there. So I'll give us a couple examples. I'm gonna make a statement and you put here if you totally agree, here if you totally disagree. So dogs are better than cats. Dogs are better than cats. Okay, wonderful. This is always the most controversial thing I do in my sessions. Okay, back to the middle. How about this one? This might be controversial. Israel is nicer than America. Israel is nicer than America. Where would you put yourself? It depends on your experience, where you live in America. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So that is the Nosy Spectrum activity. We call it the Nosy Spectrum. And you can use that as a conversation starter or as just a check-in, right? You could do it as a quick check-in. You could use it as a longer conversation starter, especially if you have a smaller group. You could ask something tough, like, are you, you're feeling great during quarantine, and see, it could be a good conversation starter. So that's the Nosy Spectrum. Now I want to do something a little bit physical, and I'm going to change my virtual background here for this one. This is just a little game that we like to call Israel or America. So if I say Israel, I want you to go to this side of your screen. There's another way to use our screen. Wonderful. If I say America, you want to go to the America side of the screen. So now I'm going to say something. This is a bit inspired by the Coke and Pepsi game. So if I say something connected to Israel, you're going to go to this side. If I say something connected to America, you're going to jump to that side. So I'm going to say falafel. Falafel. Hummus. Hummus. What about hummus? Hummus. Yeah, that's only in America, hummus. Okay. The Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. Oh, very nice. A lot. Oh, very nice. New York City. Rochester, New York. Oh. All right, very nice. So that's just a little taste of Israel or America. That is just a fun movement activity you can do, and of course can be adapted to be lots of things. You could have Jewish, not Jewish. You could have Easter, Passover. You could have for adults, for kids, but it's just a great way to get movement involved in a really simple, fun way. And if you play this with younger kids, I recommend encouraging them to run to the other side, right? I didn't make you run. I let you switch back and forth, but you could make it the whole room and make them run from the one side of the room to the other. Wonderful. And that works better if you're able to turn on the mirroring. I know some of us are struggling with that. It's in the video settings, and the video settings are different on phones, iPads, computers, so it may take a little exploring, but the mirroring is really fun. So now we just wanted to do a quick demonstration of group singing. Now, Aaron and I are not known for our singing, and for good reason, but we have been joining a lot of religious schools, and we have noticed, we actually had a program this Sunday where they did some group singing, and it was a bit challenging, so I wanted to demonstrate that. So I'm going to unmute us so that we can all sing the Hatikva together, all right? So we're going to sing the Hatikva together on the count of 3. Okay, ready? Ad, Shalosh. All right, wonderful job. So I wanted to do that just to demonstrate that no matter how beautiful our voices are, it is super challenging to all sing together unmuted at the same time. This is something that has become really clear, and we really recommend having a song leader sing, or whoever you want to lead the songs. Could be a child, could be a cantor, could be a teacher, and having everyone else muted but singing along at home. This really creates more of a group experience. It's very tempting to unmute everyone and have us all sing together, but as you see, it doesn't lead to the group singing feeling we have in person. It actually feels much closer to that when we are singing along with one song leader. So we really want to recommend that. So Aaron is gonna share with us what we're gonna do next.
All right, folks, thank you. So we're gonna play a game, a scavenger hunt. And you're like, how are we gonna do a scavenger hunt in this tiny little Zoom box? Well, again, the idea is we want people to get up and move around as much as possible. As Andrew said, this is not a phone booth. This is Zoom or some other platform. What we're going to do is, I want you, in honor of Yom Ha'atzmaut, which was just a few days in the past, we're going to all find something blue and white. You have 10 seconds to find something either blue or white, or ideally blue and white. 10 seconds. Go!
Gonna spotlight some people. Rabbi Versa, nice to see you. What a beautiful kippah. Thank you for sharing.
Nice.
Let's see who else we got.
We got here.
Oh, our friend Sarah, you have, looks like a beautiful, wrapping paper. Oh, getting us a present. Wonderful, I'm excited.
Nice. I see. Joel Weissglass has a kippah. Yes, very nice. Ooh, Michelle Barbour has some Shabbat candles. Fantastic. And Yoni of the Israeli Artist Project has, an Israeli water bottle and some Neutrogena Deep Moisture. We would have loved some Ahava skin cream from
My friend Mike has the very easy read, Nursing 2013 Drug Handbook. What a good year that was for nursing. Oh, wow.
Yes. Rabbi Ann Person. NPR, near and dear to our hearts. Molly Gold has an actual Israeli flag, Degel Israeli. Wonderful. I love it.
Bob's got a wonderful, towel there. Nice. Give it a big, could be a Dego with a little decorating. Very nice. Thanks, Bob.
Joanna Perlman's got a nice shirt. That seems classy. Very lovely. Hey, our friend Rachel Mann has got a big old pillow. Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Great, Sylvia. Nice. Is that a pot holder? It's a largest kippah I've ever. It's anything you want it to be.
It's Goliath's kippah.
Goliath's kippah. You change sides.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So that is just one example of a scavenger hunt. It doesn't need to be blue and white stuff. It could be a Jewish object. It could be something that makes you happy. So find something adorable, 10 seconds. And that's always fun because somebody will bring back a dog or a baby or something adorable. But again, it's getting people involved and moving around. And speaking of moving around, Andrew, I think we got a fun game coming up.
That's right. We are going to do a little activity that we love to do called Miriam's Moves. Miriam's Moves. This is really a celebration of the story of the Israelites leaving Egypt, going through the desert. Going through the desert and following Miriam, dancing with Miriam. So in this game, we are going to put on some music And if we spotlight you, we want you to lead us in a simple dance move that we can all follow. So when we spotlight you, you become Miriam, and you are leading us in our joyful celebration of dancing. And if you don't want to lead the dance for this one, you can click stop video for a moment and just watch some dancing. But we encourage you to dance with us and enjoy it. So I'm going to share my computer sound, and then we'll spotlight some people.
שמעתי שעושים פה מסיבה בלעדיי, אף אחד לא עושה את זה יותר טוב ממני. היי, נשים את הצרות מאחוריי, אני לא הולך עד שכולכם מג'נונים. היי, שמעתי שהתחלתם בלעדיי, אף אחד לא עושה את זה יותר טוב ממני. היי, הראש כבר מסתובב כולם בהיי, לא נעצור עד שכולכם מג'נונים. להיט, תרימו לי להיט, תרימו לב עולה, הקצב כאן עולה. מהפכה של שמחה, כי כולנו משפחה, ונרקוד בטירוף, כי הגיע הזמן לעוף. מעכשיו רק שמחה, משקיעה ועד צריכה, השתגענו מודים, אם שותים כן רוקדים.
All right, wonderful. Wonderful.
Wow.
Thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause for those dance moves. Oh, it's important to move around, and we love to celebrate Miriam. As you see, we're also using the spotlight feature a lot, which you may be familiar with. This is something that hosts can do, or co-hosts, so you can you could even empower one of your learners to be the co-host just for the dance party, and they could pick who gets to be in the spotlight, right? It's a really fun feature that helps us to feel seen and celebrated, even as part of a large group call. So that is Miriam's moves. And now Aaron is going to challenge our minds a little bit with a game we call Trivia Fingers.
All right, folks. This is a game that we created to help celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut, but really you can use it for anything. The way it works is I'm going to ask you trivia questions. These are going to be about Israel. You could make them about anything. The answer is always going to be between 0 and 10. So to buzz in with the correct answer, you just hold up the number of fingers you think the correct answer is. So for example, we'll start off with a subjective one. How many times have you been to Israel? Hold up the number of fingers for how many times you have been to Israel. See, Pamela's been 5, Debbie's been once, Eileen has been 7, and she's got a little baby. That counts. Barry Shanker, 10. Lydia, 4. Exactly. All right. And Abby is all over the place. Abby's practically. That's Sabra. Okay, so here's a question for you. The population of Israel in millions of people. About how many millions of people live in Israel? Let's see your guesses with your fingers. How many? If you guessed 9 million, you are correct. There are almost 9 million people in Israel. Here's another one. What is the average lifespan in decades in Israel? About what is the average lifespan? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What do you think the average lifespan is? If you had 8 fingers, you are correct. The average lifespan is 82.2 years. Israel ranks 8th in the world in longest lifespan. Or it just feels like that. No, it is. It's 82 years. Here's a fun one that I learned when researching this game. Where does the city of Tel Aviv rank in terms of sushi restaurants per capita? Of all the cities in the world, where does Tel Aviv rank in terms of sushi restaurants per person, per capita? And if you guessed 3, you are right. 3rd, Tokyo's 1, New York City is 2, then Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv likes their sushi. So that's a game of trivia fingers. Another fun one I learned is Tel Aviv is also first in dogs per person. 1 dog for every 16 people. So that is also sushi and dogs. Go to Tel Aviv if you like that stuff. So that is trivia finger, and you can do it with anything, like how many books of the Torah are there? You know, you could ask how many shalosh regalim? 3. Stuff like that. So that's trivia fingers, and we're gonna go right into. That's another fun way to get people involved without speaking, and also to use their fingers, because hopefully everyone has at least one. Okay, let's move on to emotional entrances. Now, during this whole quarantine, we're all feeling a lot of emotions, feeling a lot of feelings, and they're all okay. And it's important to get those emotions out. So the way this game works is we type in the chat box any feeling word, any emotion, right, into the chat box. And then we get to enter with that emotion. We all leave our Zoom boxes and come back all expressing the same emotion. And it unites us and also is fun. So I saw Leah's first one. Leah said surprised. So we're all going to exit our Zoom box, and I'm going to count to shalosh, and we're going to come back surprised as an emotional entrance. Ready? Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Surprise. Yes, look at all these surprise faces. Wonderful. All right, let's look at another one. I see, bewildered. Sherry Applebaum says bewildered. So let's leave our Zoom boxes. I'll count to shalosh. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Bewildered. Look at all these bewildered faces. I love it. Wonderful. And let's do one more. Eileen Sadowski says ecstatic. Ecstatic. Let's leave our Zoom boxes. I'll count to shalosh. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Ecstatic. Yay! Wonderful. Give yourselves a round of applause. And we had a couple people for hungry. I know it's lunch break and we're Jews, so of course we're hungry. Thank you for that. That is emotional entrances. And it's important, even when we can't enter into the same room as some of each other, we can still feel our feelings together and get them out. And Andrew's going to share with us another fun game all about moving.
That's right. So we're going to play a little game called Where Am I? This is a fun way to use our virtual backgrounds. We're just going to demonstrate it with some places in Israel. So type into the chat box if you know, where am I? Anybody know where I am? I bet some of you have been here.
Ooh.
Wonderful. We got Barry, Bonnie, a lot of people got it. Masada. That's right, the Fortress City Masada. All right, let's get a little bit tougher. Where am I now in Israel? Anyone know? You ever been here? Oh, our friend Rachel Mann, first in with a lot. That's right. We all love this place a lot. So this is Where Am I? A really fun way to use the virtual backgrounds for a fun way to travel around the world. Also a fun way to do trivia, to just have different objects behind you or different places. We can also use historical figures like, who is this? Who am I with? My new friend. That's right, our Israeli artist Golda. That's right, Golda Meir. We're all on a first name basis with Golda. She's wonderful. Great. Or if I'm hungry, what am I eating now? Home. Shakshuka. That's right. That's right. Folks asked about the virtual backgrounds. The truth is, this is different for every device. The newer your computer, the more toys you have to play with. If yours is a little bit older, you may need a green screen, a solid colored wall behind you in order to get this effect. If your computer's newer, you don't need that. The Zoom can figure it out. And if you have an even newer computer than mine, you can have video behind you in Zoom and video backgrounds. Some of us are showing off. Yeah, everybody can show off your virtual backgrounds. They're really fun to play with. And something fun to support and encourage, you can give the kids virtual background challenges, like put a photo behind you of a place in Israel or a place you've been or your dog. You can have lots of fun with these virtual backgrounds. So that's Where Am I? We're going to do another quick activity called Close-Up Objects. This is another guessing game. So I'm going to start with an object really close to the camera and slowly move it backwards. And if you figure out what this object is, type it into the chat box, okay? So right now it's really close to the camera. See if you can figure it out. You only get one guess per person. See if you can figure it out. Close-up objects.
Vase, a bell, Kiddush cup.
Oh, Kiddush cup. That's right. That's right. This is a Kiddush cup. This is a wonderful Kiddush cup, actually passed down from my great-grandfather, Abraham Sternbach. I love this Kiddush cup. We'll do one more close-up objects. Let's see if you can get it. Okay. Yes, an candlestick, Rebecca. Yes.
Oh, Havdalah candle, candlestick.
Dollar candle.
People have Havdalah on the bread.
Oh, I have it upside down here.
Yes, candlestick.
It's candlesticks. These are Shabbat candlesticks, but I only did one to make it a little harder. So this is a really fun game. You can have kids play this coming up close and going back. Another way to do it is to start really far away and walk closer towards the camera and see when people can figure it out. So another way to do to have some fun there. So I think we're going to jump to Aaron. I think we're going to jump ahead. And what I would love to do now is give you a moment to kind of process all the things we've gone through. We are going to go to breakout rooms for just about 5 or 6 minutes to have a chance to talk through with friends how you might use these activities and to come back to our goal for today, one activity that you want to bring to your community, that you want to try out, okay? So just to review all the different things we've done, we started with Rhyme Time Trivia. We played the mirror game where we copied each other. We played Who's in Charge, where we had to guess who was leading the group. We played Anachnu, where we all acted something out together. We played Ezra, the helping game, where we had an object hidden behind our back and brought it out. We played the Nosy Spectrum, where you told folks how you were feeling based on your nose on the spectrum. We played Israel or America, the game where we move across our box. We played scavenger hunts. We looked for things in the room. We did Miriam's Moves, a dance party together. We played Trivia Fingers, where we had to guess using our fingers, which is really fun for all ages. We did Emotional Entrances, where we entered our Zoom box with an emotion. We played Where Am I in the World, and we did Close-Up Objects. So we are going to send you to a breakout room, probably with the same folks, and see if you can come up, tell the group, what's the one activity that you're thinking about you're going to take home? You can talk it through together. So enjoy.
And I'll put in the chat a list of all the games.
Wonderful. And some folks with us in the main room. Wonderful. Oh, friends Ray, Abby, hello. Good to see you. Anyone have any questions from our folks in the main room? Amy, we emailed this morning. Good to see you. Any questions? Raise your hand if anybody in our main room wants to chat about anything. Okay. Riva, yeah. Riva?
So I unfortunately came in late. I was with a student and I missed the first few games. Do you have this whole thing recorded so I can see the beginning?
Yeah, so we are recording this so that we can send it later. We're going to send it later this week along with a PDF of descriptions of the games for the ones
Okay.
you missed.
All right, that sounds
Here
great.
in the chat is a sign in. So this is where I was asking folks to sign in with just their name.
I did.
Oh, great.
I did sign in.
Great. So then if you sign in there, we're going to email both the video and the PDF description of the activity.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Riva? Anyone else? Yeah. Ray, yeah.
So when are we getting that? Because I came in late too.
Oh, no worries. So we're going to send it later this week, probably tomorrow or Thursday. We're just compiling all the activities and trying to describe them really well, how we do them on Zoom. We're by Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Abby, yes.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, wondering if you and Aaron, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. Fantastic. What an amazing session. Have either of you had any either experience or success with a game where kids change their names and like that's part of the because I know kids sometimes play around with that to be snarky, and I wonder, have you ever seen like just capitalize on their knowledge of that and turn it into something?
Yeah, that's interesting. We haven't played with it too much, but I think it can definitely work.
Okay.
Uh, there's a couple fun ways to use it. One is yeah, to give a challenge and have them like change their name so you can all see the answers. They could say like your favorite animal, and everyone types in their favorite animal, or name somewhere in Israel and make that your name.
Okay.
Another thing you can do with older kids and adults is have them all make their name the same thing. Like let's say like Moses or Golda Meir. And
Okay.
then if you ask a question in the chat box, they can sort of anonymously answer. So you can have
Oh,
people,
like as if they were that character, how would they react to?
right, and then that way it's not attributed to them, right? So each in the chat box it would just say Moses says, like, you know, let's get out of Egypt. Moses says, let's lie down. Moses says. So that's another way to use the name.
Okay, nice.
To mix it up. Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just when you said that, I think that's great because maybe students who in a classroom setting may be self-conscious about raising their hand,
Mhm.
if they're all have the same name,
Right.
nobody will know. I think what a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I teach first grade, so it probably won't work with them, but many of these things would work for a first grade classroom.
Yeah, I think yeah, a lot of these things will work with first graders. Yeah, that I would say for older, for like teens and up. I've used it with teenage boys who sometimes I have a challenging time getting them to like open up and chat about things a bit. But if it's a little more anonymized, easier to start that conversation. Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm gonna invite everyone back to our room so we can all wrap up together. Wonderful. Welcome back, everybody. As you're coming back, if you'd like to type into our chat box the one activity you decided you're going to try out, we would love to hear which activities are sticking with you, what you want to try. Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Somebody asked about explaining breakout rooms. I think a lot of folks on this have had experience, but that's something that's in the more column on the bottom. And you can decide how many folks go into the breakout room. So you can make groups of 10, groups of 2, groups of 6. And I would recommend using it with maybe third grade and up. Under that can sometimes be challenging, at least the first time. You have to kind of, breakout rooms, you have to leave time to learn about it. The first time will be a little bit slower, and then the second time will be easier with your group. And Debbie, you can't do some of these things you can only do as the host. So breakout rooms, you can only start as the host. So right now you won't be able to see it in your controls. You'll only be able to see it when you're the host. So wonderful. So folks are saying scavenger hunt. I was asking folks to share what activity they decided to try out with their teens or with their learners or with their adults. A lot of these, like I said, could work with lots of different ages. And we really encourage you to think about movement and physicality with activities and not feel that Zoom is limiting us. It is an interesting new dynamic, but it is really fun. Folks asking how I showed pictures in my background. That's on the virtual backgrounds. Next to video is video settings, and you can add photos. So a lot of folks have virtual backgrounds right now. And you can add any photos from your computer if your computer can do that. So you can add a photo of your family or of a dog, or it looks like Ben has the Degel behind him, the Israeli flag. Wonderful. So we want to thank you all so much for joining us today. Before we teach you our last activity, I just want to share here a couple links. This is the link to sign in case you joined us late, so that we have your email there. So we'll email you both a video of this gathering and a PDF of all the activities that we shared. We also wanted to mention we have an unkosher comedy show coming up this Thursday night at 8 p.m. That is our first adults-only show that we're doing in this new era of quarantine. Drinks and pants are optional for that one, but that's only for us adults. So don't invite your kids to that one. And then on Sunday afternoons, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we're doing a live and inside program where we're sharing a new story every week, and also new activities, new games. This Sunday, we are trying out a new story we've been working on called Chagim High School, Holiday High School, where we meet the new kid at high school Shavuot who feels a little left out, and he has to learn about why Shavuot is so special. So that'll be really fun. If you register for that once on Jewish Live, you're set to come every week. So you have to register in advance, but that one is really fun.
Sunday Live and Inside is for all ages.
For all ages, that's right. Thank you, Aaron. So the comedy show on Thursday will be actually in the same Zoom room, but the link will be on our Facebook event as well. So you'll see the Facebook event. And we're going to end with a game together that Aaron and I love called My Favorite Statue. So we would love for you to write in the chat box the title of an imaginary statue. This could be a one-word title. It could be happiness, or the title could be that time I ate too much pizza, or the title could be my trip to Israel. And then we are all going to make a statue and act out your title. So if you want to write into the chat a title of a statue, we'll all act it out. Okay, let's see. Amy Rosenbaum said quarantine. Okay, Amy. So Amy, I'm going to unmute you because you're going to get to watch all our statues and pick one of your favorites. Don't worry about picking. So everyone, let's all make the statue of quarantine on the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3.
It's got to be Eileen, right? With the baby. Like that's
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Wonderful. All right, great. Let's see another one here. We have, okay, gained weight. All right, wonderful. Gained weight. I think that was Leah's idea. So everybody, on the count of 3, let's all do that statue. 1, 2, 3. And Leah, I'm trying to find you to unmute you. I don't know if Aaron can find you. But, well, we will. Oh, there's Leah. There you are, Leah. Which is your favorite? Do you have a favorite? You're doing it too. Wonderful.
Yafale, show us something. Yafale. This is not gaining weight. You have to be so upset and blown.
All right. Thanks, Leah. Awesome. Thank you. We are so excited thank you all so much for joining us. I think we are going to sign off. You have our emails. I'm Andrew at thebibleplayers.com. Aaron is Aaron at thebibleplayers.com. We are really excited. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we would love to come to your community. We have a lot of shows. We're doing a Shavuot Night Live show that we've been bringing to communities. We're doing an Israel time travel show through Israel. We also have a Tisha B'Av program we're writing right now. And we would love to come to your community, lead these programs. Please stay in touch. Thank you all so much. And we hope to see many of you Thursday night with the adults and Sunday afternoon with the kiddos. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Hitraot.
Hi, everybody. I'll unmute us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.